Here we have the remnants of the Roman wall built by the Romans after Queen Boudica attacked the city and wiped out the inhabitants in the 1st century AD. So they erected these huge walls 20 feet high, 10 feet thick at the base. This conspiracy in history is in the 5th century AD, Saxon invasions largely left the city abandoned. Like people, this is the silliest thing, like people would abandon the most defensible position in all of Britain in the face of barbarian invasions, in which when these Saxons got a hold of you, they would either kill you or enslave you. These inhabitants would not have abandoned the most defensible spot in all of Britain, and they also knew the great secret of commerce that Constantine knew. It's no coincidence that Constantine the Great's father resided in New York and Bath, also in London, controlled both Gaul and Britain, and Constantine coins circulated in London with his picture on them. These are facts. Constantine goes on to move the capital of the Roman Empire from Rome to Constantinople. Why? Because these are centers of trade. Rome isn't. It's not even a port city. London's a port city. Constantinople's a port city. This is mercantilism. This is where the government controls trade and finance. And that's what we have here today, out of the city of London. It's no coincidence also that this Constantine, through the Edict of Milan, legalized Christianity and was a big supporter of Christianity. Here's what's generally accepted in history. In the 5th century AD, Emperor Honorius was worried these attacks, so he decided that the Roman legion in Britain were needed to defend. Actually, it was called Gaul, not France, and Italy. He sent a letter to the people of Britain telling them why all the soldiers had to leave. He also gave ordinary people permission to learn how to fight the Saxons who were invading Britain. And so the Romans left. Gradually, the city was abandoned. Londonium became a ghost city. Now, if you believe that, well, you can, but I say no way. Here's the city of London as it has existed since Roman times, and it's still ruled by the Lord Mayor, which is independent of Parliament, independent of the Queen. It has aldermen and guilds, and those are the elected. Those are the people who are allowed to vote, many of which are corporations, and corporations, depending on the amount of employees they have, are granted more votes. And again, I'd like to point out that this is 1 square mile, roughly, and they're leaving out the wall along the river. But this most defensible position in all of England is going to be abandoned. What, the Saxons don't require trade? It just doesn't make any sense. I contend that the city was never abandoned, and the ruling elite in the city, who are unknown to us, there's also the shareholders of the Fed, the shareholders of the Bank of England, the shareholders of the Bank of France, the shareholders of Deutsche Bank, of the World Bank, of the IMF, are in fact all the same people, and all stem from the city. It's no coincidence that London is the financial capital of the world. Here's a more accurate map of the city walls. It's from 1880, at the time of William the Conqueror, who seen these walls and decided that he could not take the city, and he decided to come to an agreement with the people of the city that if they recognized him as king, he would recognize their rights. And that, to this day, is why the City of London is independent of Parliament or English Crown or any form of English government. It's completely a free city state. Mind you, the tower was built by William the Conqueror to try to control the City of London, as was Westminster by other kings of England to try to control the city, to try to control or curtail the city's power. Here we have England in the 9th century, the Danish invasions or the Viking invasions, and this is the aftermath of Alfred the Great actually defeating the Vikings. And it's no coincidence that Alfred never liberates London. If London was filled with Saxons, and now I'm not saying London, the city of London is like Roman, but there are certain families that have existed there since Roman times. There had to have been. Because he didn't liberate the city. Alfred was Saxon. He took the city and helped rebuild the walls. When emerging from the London subway at Tower Hill, it's hard not to see the Roman wall thanks to a statue believed to be Trajan pointing it out. Just a coincidence? So in closing, I'd just like to say, here in the States, this hasn't been capitalism, and there has been no republic or democracy since the installation of the Federal Reserve System in 1913. This is the same old mercantilism, same old colonialism of Roman and British imperialism. You have to ask yourself, why does Constantine so strongly support Christianity, which comes from nearly the exact opposite ends of the Roman Empire? Because he knows he can use it to control people's minds. Because as long as he was emperor, or any emperor after him, were in favor with God, no matter what they did, no matter what heinous crimes they did. If no matter, you're talking about genocide, you're talking about patricide, killing their parents, killing people. You know, it's absolutely ridiculous. And it's the same old economic slavery of controlling the monetary, controlling just as Constantine coined money. You know, if you control the money supply, you control the economy. You can increase the money supply and the economy grows. You can shrink the money supply and the economy shrinks. This is 2,000-year-old stuff that they've been using on us over and over again. Right now you can see it in the stock market. The stock market's at all-time highs. You just have to wonder why they're going to crash it down and take everyone's equity out of everything. Just as in Roman times, you're not a free citizen, you're a pleb. You think you are free and you think your vote counts, but you're just seriously a pleb. These are the people who finance elections. And without money, you can't run. This whole system, from religion to economics, is a 2,000-year-old joke, and the joke is on you. What's your thoughts and opinions?